UFC 285 is later today, and these are my final thoughts on the event. I know a lot of you guys watching this are like me, and we're just excited for the event, love checking out different videos and just seeing what people are thinking, you know, building up the hype inside. So I wanted to make this video just to really talk about fight week, see what you guys think about my thoughts on a few things, and I'd love to have a discussion in the comments about all of it as well. So as you guys know with my fight content throughout the week, I'm very heavy on Jon Jones winning this fight. He is my pick. He's still my pick, but like some of the things he's saying in the press conference and some of the things he's been saying in interviews are a little bit worrying to me. He's been saying Ciryl is not even as good a striker as Thiago Santos, which I think many of us would disagree. Like, I expect Ciryl not to have the best wrestling defense, right? But I want Jon Jones to expect him to have amazing wrestling defense, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want Jon Jones to be as confident in Jon Jones in that regard as I am, because I'm only confident in Jon Jones because I hope he prepared as best as he can, and I still think he did, but it really does sound like he's underestimating Ciryl in the lead up to this. Like, let me know what you guys think. Maybe I'm misreading that. He is confident. I know he trained. I'm not doubting that Jon trained, but I would like to hear him acknowledge Ciryl a little bit better. Like, he was even saying that he's predictable in the striking department, which I can see what he's saying, you know, like he does kind of do the same movements and same attacks from different stances. But now you just told him that at a press conference. I know it's only a couple days ahead, but it's something for him to keep in mind. And who knows, maybe that's like Jon kind of playing mind games, because now Ciryl, every time he's going to be doing his normal movements in the fight, he's going to be thinking, am I doing that tendency? Am I doing, you know, the tendency? Sorry, that was really bad, but I think you get what I'm saying. That is a little bit worrying on the Jon Jones side. And on the Ciryl Gane side, let's just say I'm going to be hedging out my parlays at the end if we do get that far, knock on wood. It's a wild matchup, really. You have such a great fighter in Ciryl, such an amazing fighter in Jon, so many questions. Like, on one hand, Jon has never fought anybody as big as Ciryl and somebody who matches him physically like Ciryl, and Ciryl has never had to fight anybody near the skill level of Jon Jones. One of them are going to find that the difference is too much. I think that Jon will win, but when you really look at it like that, it's so interesting. And that's why this fight, honestly, like when I was announced, I was very hyped, but I was kind of like, oh sweet, Jon Jones coming back, sweet, Ciryl, sweet. Now I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be a chess match. This is something that, I mean, I'm just excited to watch them figure it out, betting aside, right? Like, just as a viewer, as a fan. So the first thing I thought was just absolutely hilarious, how they sat Daniel Cormier, Anthony Smith, Rashad Evans, and Dominic Reyes down at a round table. It's like basically just a little podcast for guys that got their ass whooped by Jon Jones. Like, it is really kind of funny when you think about it, right? Like, how did they all agree to it? I really wonder how much they had to pay Dom Reyes. And when I was watching it, the only way I could figure out why he accepted this is because he's been losing so much. Like, he hasn't had a win bonus in a significant amount of time. So you might be seeing him on more little round tables by other dudes that have whipped his ass. But at the beginning, when Daniel's like, we all got our ass whooped by Jon Jones, and then you just see like Dom's face, you know he wanted to say, I fucking won that fight, you know? Like, you know that's what he was thinking, but he didn't really want to say it because he didn't want to lose that check, right? Can't lose another bonus, you know? So the next thing that is a little bit interesting, Geoff Neal, our boy, Hands of Steel, he missed weight by like, what, 4 pounds? Like a significant amount. So you got to think, right? I don't think that's from lack of training or like a weak training camp. I honestly think it's him kind of saying, my man just took a big hit to his purse. You know, he believes he's going to win. Now, it's a little bit worrying. Shavkat's a G. Like, I'm still picking Shavkat, but I don't like to see that. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to see that. I still think Geoff gets clapped. It's going to suck for him, but my God, he is worrying me. It's a little bit cheap if you think about it, but Shavkat's not the biggest of welterweights, so I don't think the weight cut is really hurting Shavkat that much. So it's really just, you're going to see a better version of Geoff Neal, and the question is that dude going to be able to beat Shavkat? Probably not, but it's going to be an interesting one. Let's just say for -500, any ticket holders watching that one, I have a feeling that there might be some moments in there where we're like kind of shitting ourselves. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope he just makes it look easy just for all of our sakes, but that's something to think about. I was watching Cody Garbrant's interview with BT Sport with Bisping and them, and I don't know, what do you guys think? Like, he kind of seems like he's really lost a lot of his confidence. I mean, I know that that's pretty expected with his record lately, but it sounds to me like he really is unsure if his chin will hold up. Like, when he's asked questions about the wars he's been in and how he's changed camps and all this, usually when fighters kind of change camps towards the end of their career, kind of a scary sign. But again, he's not going up against that great of a fighter, so it's kind of like, can he just manage it, be smart enough to not just get clipped super hard and get into a firefight and just sort of point fight, use his speed, use his striking to, like, I don't want to see him even go for the KO. I want him to just point fight, play Israel Adesanya mode with his little legs and little arms. Do what you got to do, Cody. For all the bettors betting on you, not me. I faded this fight. But there's some people out there, Cody, somewhere in this world that believe in you. I don't know who they are or why they do. But really, man, please, Play this one smart. So did you guys catch the Jalin Turner BT Sport interview? You know, I've been really interested about this matchup just because it's short notice for both of them, though Jalin actually was in a full training camp. He was going to fight Dan Hooker, but that fight fell out, so Mateusz Gamrot hopped up. So it's not like Jalin's had a big training camp for Mateusz, but Gamrot also hasn't had a long training camp for Jalin. And it's a little weird because they're both tricky matchups for most people in that division. Jalin is huge at that weight class, really long limbs, makes it easy for him to get guillotines, easy for him to go for certain submissions, harder to take down on certain takedowns, easier in other takedowns. Whereas Gamrot is, you know, he's an incredible, relentless wrestler, but when you watch his fights, like, he does like to mix it up, you know, do tons of different feints, engage in striking a little bit. He's not the type of guy who, like a Hamzat, who's just gonna fucking run at you and grab you right away and take you down. You know, I can see a lot of points in the fight where, you know, Jalin's touching him up, piecing him up, going for a takedown, maybe fails, gets hurt real bad. Like, I'm just saying, like, Jalin Turner is definitely a good live dog. I'm on Gamrot as my pick, but hearing him how confident he is in the lead up to this, I believe that he believes he's gonna win this fight. And I know that's kind of a stupid thing because most fighters do, but you can tell, like Cody Garbrant, you could tell there's some doubt there. Jalin seems to be pretty confident that he's gonna be able to stuff the wrestling. He's watched some film over the last few weeks. You got wrestler versus striker, pretty much. They both have a little bit of skill to interlap there, but that's pretty much it. You gotta go wrestler in that side, especially Gamrot is a really good finisher as a wrestler. So like I said, I'm picking Gamrot still, but the confidence that a Jalin Turner upset could be coming is rising a little bit after watching that interview. I'm not gonna lie. If you guys didn't see it, I recommend going checking it out. Like, Jalin Turner's a G. You could very well see him as a big prospect and a big name in the division. Sometimes you have these prospects and big names that fight these guys and they're like so uninteresting. You're like, there's no way they lose to that uninteresting motherfucker. You know, like the UFC wouldn't even allow that to happen. This is one of those fights where it's like either guy could win, and I think Dana would be okay with it. So I know, again, that doesn't really matter in terms of the fights happening, but you got to think, like, the UFC thinks of these matchups when they make them, and there is some times where they're like, I really don't want that guy to lose, I really want that guy to win, you know. So I don't know, kind of a moot point, but just something to think about. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who's been watching the videos this week, subscribing, liking, commenting, all that. It's like the first week on the channel, so I think we've been doing pretty good, all things considered, and you know, I'm just looking to improve everything I'm doing. So if you got any ideas, any suggestions, you know, anything like that, let me know in the comments. I'll be making videos like I did this week, every single fight week for every single UFC card. I'm a diehard UFC fan, as you can tell, so if you're a fellow UFC fan, you like my vibe, you like what I do, you know, come back, check it out, and I'll see you around.